Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be leading this week's free training for you all, in which we're going to talk about the healthy characteristics and patterns that couples can be doing to come towards each other in stressful seasons of life. Now, we're not new to stress, right? We all are very aware of what stress and overwhelm and burnout feels like. And in this space, we're couples who have been together with our partners for over 10 years. We are in that phase where it feels more like roommates than it does that we're just a super connected partnership. And so we're here to work on that. And my name is Katie Russler. I'm a relationship strategist and licensed counselor with 20 years experience helping people get out of roommate mode and start to better understand what their needs are in this next phase of their relationship 2.0 or 3.0, depending on who you are. So today I really want to talk about what stress really does to a relationship, and it's probably not what you think. Now, I started out very early on as the gold star earner in my family and worked really hard, very independent to a level of maybe hyper independence. I was working at 15. I was already filing my taxes on my own at 18. Like I wanted to just be out on my own. And I carried that desire for independence into my marriage. And often it came out in, hey, we're going through a stressful season of life. Oh, I've got this. I've got it. You don't need to worry about it. I've got it. Whereas my husband carried into our marriage this mindset of it's always all on my shoulders. So I have to take on everything. It's all on my shoulders. So imagine two individuals coming into a marriage with a stress pattern like that. It's a lot like when someone sees, or let's say two people see a car crash, and one of them immediately goes into, okay, let's, call the ambulance, call the police, like knows exactly what to do. It just doesn't ask for help other than to, hey, go call and I'm going to intervene right now. I'm going to take care of things. And another one maybe freezes or panics and doesn't know what to do. It's the same stress trigger, but it's different reflexes. And that's what happens in our marriage as well. We'll have the same stress plate in front of us, the same triggers, but we have different personal reflexes and we bring them into the relationship. So when we're in a stressful season of life, they're amplified even more. And sometimes they clash. Very often they clash. Sometimes they work well together. Sometimes we're on point and so is our partner. And it's the aftermath that we start to see the unhealthy pattern. So I want you to just take a moment and think about, in very stressful situations, what is your go-to way of responding? Is it to feel like the victim to, gosh, everything keeps going wrong and I can't, I feel like I'm drowning, I can't stay afloat? Is it to become hyper independent? I've got this, and over saying yes to things, over taking care of things, over protecting people? Is it this feeling of freeze, right? Like I'm trapped. I don't know what to do. You kind of go blank. Think about your stress response. And especially the longer you've been on this planet, how is it now versus maybe 10, 20 years ago? And now I want you to think about your partner's stress response. Maybe they go inward, they shut down, they sort of fawn. They feel like they're helpless and hopeless. So what's the point? They can't help. Maybe they have health conditions or certain situations that really impact their ability to be a support, to be in the partnership. How is their response? What is their reflex to stress? And now think about how those two connect or don't. Now, some of you are going to be a bit like my husband and I. We can thrive in stressful situations. It's the recovery period afterwards where both of us feel some resentment and frustration because we felt like even though it seemed like things were going great, afterwards we feel resentment towards each other and frustration. And why was it all on me? Why was I taking care of everything? Why weren't you helping with this? Well, I was doing all this, right? And it becomes that dance. And then we sort of retreat and pull away rather than having the discussions over what did we just go through? Holy cow, that was a lot. And I don't know about you all, But from 2020 to about 2024, I think a lot of people were going through some pretty heavy stress, and some came towards each other and some didn't. And the healthy couples are the ones who turn towards each other in stress, that their reflex is able to go, I need and want my partner in appropriate and healthy ways so that we work through this together, so that we're not alone. And we're going to talk about specifics on that. But something I really want to help you understand is that stress actually isn't the problem. We often think it is, right? Gosh, if all the stress would go away, it would make things better. Stress isn't the problem. It's actually really looking at what is our instinct response to stress and compounded stress. What is our reflex? And the interesting thing is, the more that we become aware of it, the more we become aware of our part of the pattern, the more we can start to change it and shift it. But first, you actually have to pay attention. You can't let it be, a reflex. You have to be like, "Ooh, I'm doing that thing that I do because I've started paying attention." And I know when I become Miss Hyper Independent, I got it. I'll take care of everything. It's all me. I got it. I got it. I don't need your help. That I resent people later on after the stress is gone. So that doesn't serve me and it doesn't serve them. It doesn't help. So it's something I have to be aware of. So stress isn't the problem. It's our reflex. It's our instinct that is the issue. And that's something we need to be more aware of. Okay. So there are two patterns in unhealthy couples I really want to bring to light because I'm sure we can all say, yes, Katie, I do one of these things, or we do one of these things. Okay. I can raise my hand to it too. The first one is retreating into our own separate corners of, this kind of like hunkering down, like, I've got this. Okay, I'm going to take care of these things. And there's just this feeling of, there's not a lot of communication between the two of them. They're just in their corners, like, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to do this. And it's kind of that hyper independence. So in a way, it sort of feels like great partnership. We're getting things done. We're getting through this. You've got that. I've got that. Feels very transactional. However, on the outside, it looks like you guys are handling stress. Aging parent, there's issues going on. One of you's taking care of the home, the other's taking care of that parent, right? Like we got this, we can do it. But there is no connection in that. It's just transactional. It's the practical. It's getting things done. The second is they stop asking and they completely assume. So by going into their corners and not communicating, and maybe one starts to shut down because the stress is too much and the other one starts to go even more into the I'll take care of it. I can handle this. I'll burn myself out for all of you, right? Who cares about an oxygen mask? At least everybody else has theirs on. No. But what occurs is the story we start to tell ourselves. The story, I have no one. No one helps me. No one cares. We stop asking, hey, can I take care of dinner tonight? Hey, it's been a really stressful week for both of us. Can you let's carve out and have some time for just you on Saturday to relax, go do what you want. I've got it. I'll take care of things. And then I'm going to take some time on Sunday. Like it isn't about a partnership. It is truly about that feeling of I'm alone. No one values me or sees all the things I'm doing. And very often it's both partners who feel that way. And then they start to create a story in their heads about what their partner thinks and feels and believes. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. I could be on fire and they would never pay attention. And their partner is going, I feel the same way. I could be on fire and nobody would pay attention. I'm exhausted. Nobody cares. They can't see each other because the story has created such a smokescreen that they're not seeing that they're both burning the candle at both ends. It's no longer a partnership because they've never communicated. What can we do? What are we going to say no to? What are we going to say yes to? How are we going to tap in or tap out and go, I need a break? How are we going to have support around us? Who are we going to ask for help from? They're not doing that. They're kind of hunkering down and going like, okay, I guess I'll have to take care of it. Or I don't know what to do. Okay, I feel stuck. I feel trapped. And so they feel lost. And yet they both feel lost, but they're in partnership together. So I want to talk about what we can start doing, but also what healthy couples are doing, because I think this is something we need to point out. I really love looking at patterns. We, in communication with others and interaction with others, are always playing out some type of pattern. It's always there. And it's not the same for each person we're with, and it's not the same for every situation. So the more we become aware of ourselves, the more we become aware of our reflexes, our natural instincts, the more we're going to be able to pull out, I'm doing that thing, and I'd like to start shifting it into a healthier behavior. So here are the two, actually, I have three healthy behaviors I'd like you to start thinking about. The first one, they name the stress and the mental load and all of it. They say it out loud, not in a complaining, you're not helping, you don't do anything way. It is saying, hey, this week that's coming up, we've got this, and this, and we're going through this time right now with our parents and the kids. And so we need to come together to talk about how to proactively work on this. They don't wait till it's an emergency. Because when we're in emergency mode, we're in fight or flight. We're not calmly going, hey, let's proactively talk about this. We are going, it's urgent and it's important and you're not helping and right. And we're reactive. But if we can name that load that's on our shoulders or on the relationship or in our family out loud, it becomes a collaborative effort to say, what can we do about it? And it might be that one of you is carrying it a little more than the other, right? Job transition, layoffs. You see this challenge where then, okay, someone's losing their job and they feel the stress and the overwhelm of that. But then it means that the other partner's got to make sure they keep their job and there's enough income coming in to cover things. And so as this one's grieving, this one is like, oh, so having the discussion, hey, layoffs are coming. Let's talk about a plan. What would we do? Or what are we going to do? And I know that means you'll have more of the financial stress. I'm going to be applying for jobs. However, I can also pick up on these other tasks and things you were doing in order to make our life feel a little more balanced. So we're balancing the stress and the load, right? It's naming it out loud and collaborating on what we're going to do. That is so, so key for healthy couples. The second one is they ask specific questions instead of offering a general sort of vague one. Can I help? What do you need help with? We mean well when we say these things. We say these to our friends and our family and to our partners. But really, we've created more mental load on them to figure out exactly what it is. Now, I hear you. Some of you have partners who maybe have some control issues, are perfectionists, want things a certain way, but I want to offer you a tool. What about saying specifically the thing they carry really heavily and saying something along the lines of, hey, I'm going to take care of dinner this week. If you've already got a meal plan, send it my way. I'll take care of the shopping and I'll take care of the dinners. You've got a lot on your plate, or we've been balancing a whole lot. And I see you doing all these things and I want to be there for you. You could even add are you good with that? But it's not how can I help? How can I help throws the mental load back on our partner. And if we're not paying attention enough to know what our partner does on a regular basis, that it would be really great for us to take off their shoulders, that's a warning sign, people. We need to pay attention to what our partner does in the day to day, the roles, the jobs, the tasks, the responsibilities, so that we do know this actually would make your life easier. Yeah, you always take the kids here and there. I've got them and I'll figure out the schedule. You don't need to write it down for me. Hey, I'm going to take the kids away for the weekend so you can have a weekend off. I will pack them. You don't need to do that. Well, you might forget stuff. I don't care. You need a break. Hey, you've had the financial load on your shoulders for years. I'm going to start learning better investment techniques and better ways to budget and manage our money so that that doesn't have to be something that daily, weekly, monthly you're staring at with panic. I want to share that load with you. Are you good with that? How powerful is that as a partner to say, I see you and I see the load that's been on your shoulders. And now I want to carry it with you, but I'm not going to make it your responsibility to teach me, fix it for me, make it palatable, help me. Like, I'm going to come in and figure this out and we're going to work together on it because I realize it might be hard for you to let go. But I don't want this to be all on your shoulders anymore. So that's number 2. And the third one is that they still stay a team even when they're maxed out. Even when they're so stressed and everything is overwhelmed, they come towards each other. They give each other coffee and go, honey, how are you doing? I see it all over your face. It's been tough. Talk to me. I'm here. And they're like, but you are going through so much and I just don't want to unload on you. Hey, how about we do 5 minutes and 5 minutes? I'll talk, then you talk. And let's like hug for maybe a minute. Wow, that feels powerful because we don't get to hug that long anymore because we're always to the next thing and the next thing. Hey, let's block on Sunday night from 8 to 9 p.m. just for us. We can even stare at the wall. I don't care, but I'm going to hold you and we're going to cuddle. We're just going to be with each other. And if we need to cry, we're going to cry. And if we need to laugh, we're going to laugh. Whatever it is, we're going to just come towards each other and be of support. Healthy couples' reflexes, whether it was learned or later they had to teach themselves, is to come towards each other, not to push each other away. So really think about those 3 things. And of those 3, would you say that there are any of those that you do? So again, they name the load out loud before it becomes an emergency. And not as a complaint, but as a proactive, let's prepare together. The second, they ask specific questions. They know their partner, they know the load. They're able to say that versus how can I help? What do you need me to do? The third is they stay a team. Even when they feel completely overwhelmed and stressed out, they still come towards each other because they know 2 is stronger than 1. Think about those. How often is that your reflex? How often is that your go-to? How about your partners? Is that a pattern you guys have built together in your relationship? And if not, ask yourselves why. Now, for tomorrow, for those of you in my paid community, your rebuild practice is teaching you how to build the reflex of coming towards each other, how to stop going into hyper independence mode or just sort of, excuse me, shutting down, that your reflex is coming towards each other and collaborating. How powerful would that be? That's what you get tomorrow when you join our paid community. So I invite you to come and subscribe to us. The piece that I want to bring back again is that stress is not the problem. It's not the villain. Stress will always be there. I think we've figured that out at this point, right? Stress will always be there. Our reflexes, our patterns, our go-to without us thinking is the problem. And how do we start to shift that? We stop now in this moment and we pay attention and we say, this is my go-to and I do this because, and I am this way because, not to blame our parents or those situations that happened in the past or even our partner for the areas they failed, but to say, because of these things, I've had to do it this way, but I'd like us to do this differently. And the only way for it to be done differently is the 2 of you come together and collaborate. How do we change our stress reflexes? How do we see the same triggering event and come towards each other? How do we face life stress that's going to continue to come at us and it make us stronger rather than pull us away even further? That might mean learning how to grieve together. That might mean learning how to hear critical feedback in stressful and difficult moments and be able to let your guard down and go, you're right. We talked about that last week on the training. How do we start to take ownership? These are our tools we can start to learn, the things we can be doing better. And again, if you're part of our paid community, every week you've got things to work on with your partner that are so doable over the weekend, and make it so that every week you're paying attention to building and strengthening the foundation of your relationship. So I invite you to come and be a part of that. Okay. I am really excited to hear from you all about what today's training is opening your eyes to. I want to know, what is your go to reflex and stress as a couple, individually as well? And what are the things you want to change about that? And let me offer maybe some tools to support you in that. Okay, everyone, I'll see you for next week's training.